I will be making my own desk with one sheet of 3/4 inch plywood and 3 pieces of lumber using minimal tools only. I made a rough 3D model first so I can visualize it and know how much wood I would need. Firstly, I will be making a jig for my circular saw because this is my first ever woodworking project. This jig will help me make a lot of straight cuts with the circular saw. Now that I have my jig, I can start cutting the plywood tabletop according to the measurements plan. Also, I cut the pieces of lumber that will be used as the table legs. This piece of lumber has a big chip on it, so I gathered some sawdust from all the cutting and mixed it with wood glue to create some kind of wood filler. All the pieces are cut to size and ready for sanding. Now to join the table legs without using any screws or nails to create that seamless look, I will be using the dowel joinery. It's one of the easiest joints to do. I clamped it down with a right angle clamp. I only have 4 clamps though, so I will be putting these books on top to give some pressure on the bottom dowel joints that are not clamped. Next, I drilled a hole for the keyboard and mouse cables to pass through. I then rounded off the corners of the front of the tabletop using sandpaper, but it was taking forever, so I used the hand planer instead. I set up my sacrificial piano stand as a painting stand because I'm bad at piano anyway. My plan for the tabletop is to use 2K urethane paints, which is usually used for automotive paint jobs. I painted the bare wood with epoxy primer first. Then I used polyester body filler to fill in the grain of the plywood. Then I spray painted the tabletop with epoxy primer again with the help of my lovely girlfriend. Now, it's time to get to sanding. As you can see, I dedicated so many hours to sanding because the paint was rough. So rough that I had to ditch the cheap paint sprayer and buy an air compressor and a proper spray gun to repaint the whole tabletop again. Now, the indecisiveness of me said to paint the tabletop black for some reason. I immediately regretted this and repainted the tabletop white. Going back to the table legs, I sanded this piece to correct my misaligned joint. I then moved on to join the 2 legs together with some dowel joints. I then laid the tabletop upside down and put the legs on top of it to make screw holes for the threaded inserts. Using threaded inserts gives me the ability to disassemble the tabletop and legs if I need to in the future. Then I wet sanded the table with 1000, 1500, and 2000 grit sandpaper. I didn't get the surface to be perfectly smooth, but I didn't want to sand through the clear coat since I only painted 2 layers of clear coat, and it's good enough anyway. Moving on to the table legs, I first applied wood preservative to keep the termites away. Then I bleached the wood using a 2-component bleach system. The first part will extract the color of the wood out, then the second part will lighten the wood, giving that modern look I'm going for. I noticed after bleaching some bumps appeared, so I just sanded it off. Next, I brushed on sanding lacquer and clear coat on top of it. However, brushing on clear coat wasn't a good idea. It was hard to apply and dried too quickly before I could even spread it. Finally, it's time to say goodbye and get rid of my old cramped desk. I had to assemble the desk on the spot because it won't fit through my door assembled. That is why I use threaded inserts. I was so excited to try on my new desk. There's so much space and it's now part of the white themed desk setup I'm aiming for. Here is what my cable management looks like at the back of the desk. Though unfortunately, the cable management of my keyboard and mouse isn't ideal for me. There is a bump underneath the mousepad that is quite annoying. The making of this desk was a long and tiring journey. This desk actually took me more than a year to finish. I made so many mistakes along the way. Some of it I redid, and some of it, well, I just accepted it and moved on. But in the end, it's still a nice desk and I'm proud to say, I made this.